It got heated on the House floor as Katherine Clark accused Republicans of turning airport security into a political weapon, sparking a fierce debate over the DHS shutdown.
Madam Speaker, I yield 5 minutes to the gentlewoman from Massachusetts, the distinguished Democratic whip, Ms. Clark.
The gentlewoman from Massachusetts is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the gentlewoman from Connecticut for all her work and for yielding. Madam Speaker, the Republican TSA shutdown has dragged on now for over a month. Officers haven't been paid in weeks. Hundreds have walked off the job because they simply can't afford to work for no pay. Travelers are stuck waiting in lines that have soared up to 9 hours because Republicans have decided to use airport security as a political weapon. If they cared about what we are seeing in airports across the country, if they really cared about the chaos they've caused, they would end this today. House Democrats have a bill to get TSA funded, to get these officers paid, and to get passengers where they need to go safely. We have tried repeatedly to bring it to the floor, and every time Republicans have stood in the way. If any one of them are feeling a bit of regret, they could help us force a vote. We have a discharge petition right there on the dais. Not one Republican has signed it. Why the obstruction? Why refuse to solve an agonizingly solvable problem? Well, Donald Trump said it himself. He will not support a single dollar for the TSA. He will not allow airports to get back to normal unless we make it harder to vote and harder to register to vote. Unless we drown voters in red tape, we ban mail-in voting, except for the president. That's what this has come down to. Our national security is being compromised. Airports are in chaos. Officers and travelers are the ones paying the price because Donald Trump views them nothing more than collateral damage in his attempt to rig the midterm elections. So if there's any Republican across the aisle who is ready to choose their constituents and the working people of this country over Trump, if anyone in the GOP is starting to realize this is spinning out of control, join us. Let's end this insanity. Let's pay TSA workers, and we can have an ICE operation that works like every other police department across the country. Let's do it today. Put the safety and security of the American people first. I yield back.
This moment is a powerful example of how political messaging and real-world impact collide in Washington. Katherine Clark steps up and immediately frames the issue in stark terms, not as a policy disagreement, but as a crisis with real consequences. By calling it a Republican TSA shutdown, she assigns direct responsibility and sets the tone for everything that follows. That framing is intentional. It simplifies a complex funding dispute into a clear narrative. One side is causing harm, and the other is trying to fix it. What makes her argument resonate is the focus on everyday impact. Instead of getting lost in legislative jargon, Clark talks about TSA officers going unpaid, workers walking off the job, and travelers stuck in hours-long lines. Those are tangible, relatable problems. When people hear 9-hour airport lines or workers not getting paid, it immediately connects policy decisions to lived experience. That's a deliberate strategy to move. Clark then shifts to action, or the lack of it. She highlights that Democrats have proposed a bill to fund TSA and resolve the situation, but claims Republicans have blocked it repeatedly. The mention of the discharge petition is especially significant. It's a procedural tool that allows lawmakers to bypass leadership and force a vote, but it requires bipartisan support. By pointing out that no Republican signed it, she's not just making a procedural point, she's applying public pressure, essentially calling out individuals to break ranks. The most aggressive part of her speech comes when she ties the shutdown to broader political strategy, specifically referencing Donald Trump. Clark argues that the situation stakes dramatically. It transforms the issue from a budget dispute into a question of intent, suggesting that the disruption is not accidental, but strategic. As her speech builds toward the conclusion, the tone shifts from accusation to challenge. Clark directly appeals, publicly confronted with a choice, at least in the eyes of viewers. In the end, what makes this moment stand out is its clarity and intensity. Clark doesn't hedge, doesn't soften her language, and doesn't dilute her message. Whether one agrees with her or not, the delivery is designed to be memorable and impactful. It's not just about winning